Hi guys, today's video is going to be about how to stretch your upper back, your neck, your shoulders, and it will be very helpful for people who are working at a desk at the moment. I've had many messages come in from people who now have a home setup and it's maybe not quite as good as what they used to, so they're feeling quite tight and achy through the upper back and neck. However, this routine will be good for anybody who feels tight and stressed and whatever through the upper back, so hopefully it helps many of you as well. It's a follow along, so all you need is a towel or something to make your knees comfortable, set your device up on the floor, and let's get to work. So first of all, start in a slightly wide kneeling position, knees slightly wider than your hips, hands out in front, and we're just going to use the head as a driver to take motion through all three planes in the upper back. So starting with forwards and backwards, and then side to side, letting the ear drop towards the shoulder. I'm also letting this movement ripple through my back, and if my lower back and hips want to move, then that's good. Just letting that movement ripple, and then I can just gently twist and look over each shoulder. I bring a slight sway into this movement as well, just rolling in the hips, which is nice. And then from there, we'll push back into a child's pose, or push the hands away from us. Have a little wriggle side to side. And then we'll go into this tabletop position where, keeping your elbows straight, we're going to roll our shoulders. Try and imagine your whole thorax separating and scooping away from your shoulder blades. I'm not sure if the microphone's picking it up, but you might be able to hear my shoulders clicking and clunking as the connective tissues between my thorax and my shoulder blades loosen up, which is nice. Use this motion as well to connect mentally with your shoulder blades. So really feel them, really find where they are, so that now if we push back into a child's pose, you can continue that shoulder roll using a little bit of muscle activation to roll those shoulders over the thorax. And then from here, we'll take one hand through and drop the shoulders to the floor. Use your eyes to watch the hand that's gone under your arm. This is just bringing in a nice upper back rotation. Using the hand and the eyes to drive the motion. And we'll go the other way. And one more time, each side. Sinking the belly down as well, which helps relax the hips. And the other way. From here, just slide your knees out from under you so you're laying flat onto your belly. We'll take one hand across our body and try and drop your belly, your chest and your chin towards the floor. We're aiming for a light lateral shoulder stretch. And if that feels okay, you can make it a little bit harder by taking the other arm over the top as well. So we're crossing our arms over and then trying to sink our body down over our shoulders. It's the lower shoulder that's getting most stretch though. And then we'll go to the other side. Really imagine dropping and sinking into the floor over your shoulder, which should be stretched but relaxed. Then take one arm out to the side and put your hand flat on the floor. So I'm going to be stretching this hand, this side that's out to the side. Take the opposite foot up and over. This is called the scorpion stretch. And we're aiming to open up the pec and the bicep here. So I'm going to do that by looking up to the ceiling and then using this knee to drive motion, drive away from the stretch. And as I look up and just get this little wriggle, it's getting a really nice stretch all the way down the front of my shoulder, the front of my bicep and my chest. Opening up the chest, which can get a little bit tight if we're, say, on a phone a lot or using a keyboard or a computer a lot. Cool. Slowly roll to the other side, other hand and other foot. Using a little rhythm rocking, trying to open up the thorax, the front of the chest. And then back to the middle, belly on the floor. Bring the hands round in front of you and rest onto your elbows, this Sphinx position, and have a little head roll. Take your head in both directions. Feel a few little clicks and clunks. Nothing should hurt, so if anything causes pain or feels a bit restricted, don't try and bash through that barrier. Just use your head to create nice gentle ripples through your neck and upper back. And then if you feel able and comfortable, you can push your hands down into the floor, straightening your elbows, and using that mindfulness that you noticed earlier to wriggle and rock the shoulder blades. You can look up and do little head wriggles as well if you like. And then from here, just to let your lower back relax, bring the knees through. Drop into a child's pose. I normally bring my knees slightly wider than the hips for this so I can get a nice groin stretch as well. And then one last little shoulder roll from this tabletop. Try and remember what it felt like the first time you did this, and does it feel cleaner now? Mine certainly feels a bit lighter and looser. And then we'll go into a sitting position. Have a little wriggle and shoulder roll. Now, put one hand behind your lower back. Try and reach up your back if you can. And take the other hand over your head and just lean the head away. So I'm trying to drop this shoulder down, lean the head away, and I'm applying a light pressure through the hand into the side of the head. Little head rolls, so looking down, looking up, trying to take my head to the side, my ear away from my shoulder. Roll the head down and through, switch the arms and switch the hands. I find this is sometimes a nice thing to do. If I feel a bit muzzy-headed and a light headache, this can just help free up the connective tissues at the top of the neck and can soften the headache. Great. Another little shoulder roll. Now, have your fingers linked and push your back away from your hands. So imagine there's a sticker right between your shoulder blades and you're trying to push that sticker away from your hands, and then have a little wriggle. We're just opening up the rhomboids and the muscles at the back of the shoulder blades. And I personally find there's a more exaggerated version of this where we use a hand position, which I think is called the eagle, where you loop your arms around, try and get your palms facing each other. I can only get my fingers on the palm here, but that's good enough for me, and I feel more of a stretch. So I'm just going to do a little figure of 8 in this eagle position, really stretching those rhomboids and some of the rotator cuff muscles. And then I'll just switch hands. Just opening the backs of the shoulders. Okay, let it go. Breathe. Activate the belly. When you're breathing, the belly goes out. When you breathe in, a nice little wriggle of the shoulders. And hopefully that helps you feel light and clean through the neck, the shoulders. Not sure how long that took, about 10 minutes or so, and it's lovely to do if you've been on the computer for a while, or you've had a long day or feeling a bit stressed. So hopefully that helped you. I certainly feel a bit lighter and looser, and I'll see you next time.